everyone. Welcome to our podcast and our first entrepreneur. We have met with fantastic entrepreneurs at this conference and we're super excited. And so, Tierra, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Tierra Begay. I'm from the Navajo Reservation. I was born in Gallup, New Mexico, and raised in a little community called Pinedale, New Mexico, which is a little northeast of Gallup.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if you guys are familiar with the Roo, it's basically like on the other side of the mountain.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I am familiar with that area.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like on the other side of the mountain. I was raised by a single mother and by my grandparents and my aunt. So I give all credit to who I am today from mainly my grandparents, but my mom and my aunt as well.
That's fantastic. So as we were passing by your booth, what really captured my attention were your t-shirts and your designs. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it's kind of like a crazy story. When I was growing up, I always liked to doodle like nature and what was around me. And my grandma always told me, you have a big heart and kind of, express it, give it to everybody that you can. And growing up, like I said, I was raised by a single mom. We didn't have much. We struggled financially a lot. And during like Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, I would want to give her something, but I didn't have money and I didn't want to ask her for anything. So I would draw handmade cards and then she would sometimes have to take me to work because there was nobody to watch me or sit at home with me. So, back then they didn't have like tablets or iPads or anything. So I would just draw. I kind of let that go for a little bit and focus more on like my athleticism. Yeah. Soccer and basketball are my sports. So I kind of just put it away. And then in high school, I had to take an elective and nothing really interests me besides art. So that's when I got into it. And then again, took a break again. And then I met my fiance and I had this inspiration from her to be who I am and express my identity in different ways. And my family, I come from a strong lineage of women. And I really wanted to embrace that and share it with the world in any way I could, like spreading love, positivity, and happiness, and also my culture and who I am. So I told my fiance, I was like, it'd be so cool if I made like stickers of like little art pieces. And then she's like, that would be great. I didn't know where to start. I did a bunch of research and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to do it. But COVID hit and I created this design on my grandma with a heart because a lot of grandmas were passing away, mothers and aunts and sisters on the Navajo Reservation. And so me and my grandma were talking and she says she really wants to spread her love as grandma to everybody that was losing theirs. She didn't want her picture on Facebook. And I was like, why don't I just draw it?
Oh, wow.
So I drew it and that's where it kind of blew up during COVID. And that's where I'm at today. And I saved a lot of money as much as I could to create t-shirts. I first started off with stickers and now I do caps, hoodies, and even like wallets sometimes. Yeah. And it's really fun because it allows me to travel and get out there and be involved in these indigenous communities.
Yeah. Traveling is so much fun. And so a couple of things that you said really stood out to me as, we're the high vibe tribe. We love people in high frequency. Yeah. You said that you gained a lot of your strength or that you come from a long line of strong women and that shows. And that's so amazing. What we really need to promote now with our younger generations, right? And really feeling positive. I love the fact that you said you really wanted to spread that positivity. You really wanted to, do something like that. And what's even more powerful behind that is your grandma was like, let's do this, and you drawing. So are you wearing one of your creations right now?
So this is one of my most popular creations. It says Indigenous Women Make It Happen. And it has my fist up in the air. Yeah. So the colors have representation within the piece. This piece is actually a painting that I did. It's originally done as a painting, and the yellow represents corn pollen or cornmeal that a lot of the tribes use for ceremonies, for food. And the turquoise represents protection and women, out there in the world full of craziness and, just kind of protecting who they are, their identity, their spirituality, and basically themselves. Yeah. And then the fist represents, empowerment.
Empowerment, yes. I love that. You have this whole positive vibe around you. Yeah. I mean, immediately when we set up, I just made a beeline over to you. And right now I'm getting like chills because you're exactly the kind of person that we want to make connections with, especially on our podcast, because we want to find your story and share it with everybody else so that they can be inspired by you.
Yeah.
So we know your story and we know what you do. What inspires you or who inspires you?
Man, I might get emotional on this.
It's okay. We're good. I got tissue.
A lot of people inspire me, and kind of more so my younger self. I've realized recently that so I'm about to graduate from a university in Mexico. I'm double majoring in criminology and psychology, as I mentioned earlier. And I am so proud of myself. I'm not going to say it to like my family face to face, but when I was younger, I struggled with my education academically. I just didn't have the motivation with school. All I wanted to do was either be on the basketball court or be on the soccer field. That's it. And that was kind of like my therapy growing up. And so in middle school, they would have like these college people come and talk to us. And I was just like, eh. Back then, you need a full ride scholarship, straight A's, perfect SAT scores, ACT scores. That wasn't me. That wasn't who I am. And considering my height, I wasn't going to get scholarship for athlete. So I just kind of was like, okay, whatever. And I wanted to join the military. Went through MEPS and everything. But for some reason, I couldn't fully give myself to the military.
Okay.
I didn't get sworn in or anything like that. And I just kind of was like, this isn't who I am. And so backed away from it, and thankfully I met my fiance, and she inspired me to continue my education and further it. So she's one of the inspirations, but finding where I am and where I want to go in life really stems from my younger self. Yeah, more so like recently I'm kind of stemming into that, like my younger self, and kind of also healing my younger self, and I guess being more proud of all my accomplishments. But the people that stood behind all that is my grandparents, my aunt, and my mom. Those main four people I really want to highlight. And especially my aunt. Like, my aunt's been through there fully through. Yeah. And it's just, I get a little bit of everything from all four of them, different characteristics from my grandma, from my grandpa, my aunt, and my mom.
That is amazing. I love that. There's always, you see successful people and you think, oh, they did it. They did it themselves. And yes, on a certain level, they had to make that effort, right?
Yeah.
But then we realize there's a whole tribe, no pun intended, but yes, tribe of people behind them and of certain people that really encourage, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think also just me learning more about myself through the years, and that really stemming from my fiance, allowing me to fully go deeper into myself and grab the roots of my strengths, my inspirations, and, all the perseverance, and just kind of bringing that out. It's like she brought the color into my life that I really needed to pursue what I'm doing now, and to also accomplish and work harder towards my goals that I set for myself.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what? We all need that partner in balance and support.
Yeah.
And someone to bring out the best in us.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of us have that and some are still looking, and some may or may not know that's what they need.
Yeah.
And it's such an inspiration. So what is the name of your business?
My business is called T.Arrow.Designs. My girlfriend actually gave me that nickname. So when I was in soccer, I was a goalkeeper. That was my main position. But I had a good penalty kick. And so one time I kicked a penalty kick, and the goalkeeper on the opposing team, I broke her wrist. Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I broke her wrist with my kick, and after that, I felt really, really bad. And, I was confiding my grandpa, like, I feel really bad. Like, I was crying. I was just like, if I didn't do it, like, as hard, he's like, no. He's like, you didn't know. He's like, that just shows your strengths and all you've been practicing for, and all your work has paid off, basically. And so after that, he's like, your shot is just, you're like an arrow. And then sharp as an arrow, strong as one. And after that, he started calling me T.Arrow.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that backstory of the name. T.Arrow. So what's next for Tierra and T.Arrow?
Well, I will be graduating in May. I really hope to work with juveniles, especially Native American juveniles here in Albuquerque. Being in the criminology department at UN, I found out that a lot of the focus is towards other minority groups. And it's kind of like to the point where Native Americans or the population is kind of pushed aside. And even there's a little statistics here in Albuquerque or in Mexico, 10.7% of the people that are incarcerated are Native Americans, and they don't get a full 1% of representation. So, especially in the juvenile detention centers, I really want to be that voice for Native American or be there for them, because a lot of them come off the reservation into like the metro area.
Yeah.
And they don't know, like, like the lifestyle out here. And being a person that grew up on the res and moving here to Albuquerque, it was scary. And I would just want to be that, lending hand to turn their life back around. And, some people or some juveniles are in there for minor crimes. And I would like to, say like, this isn't who you are, and help them define their life for like the better.
Yeah.
And then for T.Arrows, it's kind of a toss-up right now. I want to keep doing it. I want to keep pursuing it because art's like my therapy. When I'm drawing, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like a little trout in the river. Oh, I love fishing. So
I'm
fishing. I love the outdoors, and I just feel like I'm a little trout in the stream, just kind of flowing through, minding my own business, and I really like that. So I'm not too sure.
Okay,
but whatever is in the works for me, or whatever is in the plan for my future and my journey on Earth, I'm like ready for it.
Oh, thank you so much for giving us just this time, because time is so precious, and we love hearing people's stories, and everybody has one.
Yeah.
And so the last question that I have for you is, what would you want your legacy to be, or what kind of a legacy would you want to leave?
Oh, man, I always think about that. I always think about it all the time. And I even tell my fiance, like, if you ever have kids, like, what would I want to leave with them? I don't want kids, for the record. Actually, we both don't. So
for the record.
For my nieces and nephews, when they do come, I don't know. I guess just kind of leaving my voice and my positivity and love. I feel like love is much needed on Earth. When I was younger, when my grandma told me that, I was like, well, thanks, Grandma. What characteristic? Why would I want that? Like, I want to be like, Grandma, I want you to tell me like I'm a this bad, cool person, you know?
You can say it.
Yeah, I'm like,
don't badass.
I'm like, I want to be this badass Grandma, like, and I'm just, but now that I'm older, and now that I see, what the world is going through, not fully, but understanding it, the dynamics of it, I think I'm really glad that she saw that I could spread love, or that's like kind of my gift to people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want to like leave here, and also like the future generations, that it's okay to learn out of certain boundaries. Being enclosed into just life on reservation. Yeah, that's important. Culture is important. Who you are as a Native American is important, but also expanding your knowledge outside of that, opening your mind, and just adventure, positivity, happiness, and love is basically what I want to leave.
I love that. I wish that more people would take that same stance, because there's a lot that love can heal.
Yeah.
And you can't have any kind of healing without any degree of love.
Yeah.
Right. And so the two go hand in hand in my thinking. So I just want to thank you so much for sitting with us. And
of course.
I know it's totally random, but that's what we like. It's like, let's just do it, because I think when things are super planned, it just is not as authentic.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to be. You were already vibing at this frequency, and that's what we wanted. So I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for asking me too. I like getting your little interviews. I have all this like concept and stuff in my mind going through it, and getting it out there, and actually getting my voice out there, instead of just it going in through my mind, or my fiance hearing it for like the 100th time. And she's just like,
we can relate.
Yeah. No, if she watches this, she'll be like, yeah. She tells me multiple times. I'm finally glad somebody else heard it.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good. Well, it's nice to share our stories where we can. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then, thank you so much. And we love our stickers.
Oh, yes.
And like I totally slapped that on there already. It's so cool. I should have had it. I think I left it in there. Oh, thank you. So here it is. So she showed you some of her art on her t-shirt, but she also has these cool, awesome stickers. So there's this one, Indigenous Women Make It Happen, like her t-shirt. There's the Res Kid Vibes. Love it with the dill pickle. Yeah, which I thought was sage at the and of course the feather. And then my favorite, well, let me show you this one first. It's fearless, sacred, resilient. And then my favorite here is a little dark, but is this anyone in particular?
Yeah, that's my grandmother. So a lot of my artwork has a story or representation behind it.
Yeah.
But how I keep it original, how I keep it close to me and personalizing it is drawing my grandma. Like I mentioned, my grandma, she's probably like my number one favorite human being.
Yes.
I'm a huge grandma's girl, and I'll do anything and everything to protect her in any way possible and take care of her. She is a boarding school survivor. And so during that time that I drew that, she was going through it mentally and emotionally. And I just kind of wanted to create a piece that represents her strengths, her resilience, and her beauty that I absolutely adore and love about her. And one time I was walking her out. We just got done having a little dinner at my mom's, and she lives out in Belen, which is not too far, and it's like dark as ever.
Yeah.
And she would always tell me when I was younger, and we would do it to that she would go outside with her grandma and look at the stars. And she would hear my great great grandma would tell her stories about the stars, how they got up there, or traditional stories. And so she passed those down onto me, and we would do it when I was younger. Just look up and
look at the stars.
Yeah. So that's what I really wanted to embrace in that piece.
And you caught it. You captured it. I love it because, I mean, that just says so much when I look at it. When I first saw that yesterday, I was like, I love it because she's looking to the stars. She's looking to our ancestors. Plus, this looks like she's contemplating so much and dealing with stuff and just looking up. You know, she's not looking down. She's looking up and gives a lot of hope, you know? So, yeah. Okay. Well, check her out. Do you have like a website or anything?
So my website is T.Arrow.Designs.com.
Okay.
Or you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. I even share some of my family on there and some like highlight them. And I have all my stories and meaning behind each piece on there. So it's T.Arrow.Designs on Instagram.
On Instagram.
Facebook too. Sometimes TikTok, but I'm not that cool for editing or anything like that. I don't do dance moves.
Will not dance.
Will not dance. Sorry.
but we'll draw. And I think you're fantastically talented. And I'm just so grateful you get to share that with the world and, you know, leaving your legacy of love as you go through and creating these awesome pieces. And I love it because nothing against t-shirts. I love them.
No.
I live in t-shirts.
Yeah, me too.
But with these little stickers, like I can take a lot of your art with me anywhere. And it inspires me. So that's what I really love about this.
I'm a sticker fanatic too. So like when I wanted to share my art piece, that's what stood out to me the most. I started off with a little like box, and now my box is this big of just different artists. From everywhere, native artists in general. But yeah, I love stickers too.
Awesome. Okay, well, everybody go check her out. And her art is amazing. And get those stickers and t-shirts. And we'll see you here next time. Thank you. And thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.